Hey guys, Preston Martelli again here with you guys on another amazing episode about branding. And this one's all about how to jumpstart your brand, even if you're on a shoestring budget and you're just starting off, you have no idea where to get started. I'm going to give you guys some pretty awesome actionable tools in this training to get you guys off on your feet and ready to get your message out there. All right. So without further ado, let's get right into this. All right. So first things first, you want to do is you want to make sure that if you haven't already done this, you want to be able to decide on who exactly is your dream audience, right? You want to be able to narrow down on your ideal customer and where they're located, right? So the reason why you want to do that is because online, when you're going to try to get your name out there, you're going to try to get your brand out there, and then you're going to want to eventually start spending some money in terms of advertising or putting your branding in the right places. Now, in order for you to get your best bang for your buck or the best bang for your time, you want to make sure that you can narrow in as much as possible using the tools that are available online to be able to hone in on your dream audience. All right. So first things first, location. This is one of the very obvious ones, and you can use that on just about any platform out there to be able to narrow in on who your dream customer would be. The second thing is gender, right? Does gender play a part in your ideal customer? If it does, fantastic. You can usually cut out about half the population just by choosing male or female, if that does play into factor. The next thing is age, right? If your product requires a high ticket, it might be somebody older than 21 might take into play. If your audience is targeting, veterans, you might want to target people over 65 or over 55, depending on who exactly you want to target. And just by doing that, you're able to really hone in on, identifying who your dream customer is. Obviously other things like income can play a factor as well, because you can target accordingly. You can also do interest-based targeting. So if your particular ideal customer has certain interests or things that they would be interested in, like certain books, certain people they would use as influencers online, you want to be able to take a note of these things and jot them down, because what it's going to enable you to do is to create an ideal customer avatar that you can then go forward and target to. And then last but not least, think of your customers' behaviors, right? Are they browsing on their desktop? Are they browsing on their mobile, right? Is it a purchase that needs to be made? Are they comfortable making purchases online, right? If you can think of these kind of behaviors, that's going to help you really target, craft your brand, craft your message, and craft how you communicate that out to your audience. All right. So now, once we've got that down, we've got our ideal customer, let's get into some of the cool things about branding, right? So branding, one of the things that people sometimes overcomplicate is really colors and fonts, right? What I did, I kind of did this on the side here for punch value, is I showed you guys when I was designing my brand logo a couple years ago, I was looking at an image like this. It was pretty much the same thing, talking about the top 100 brands online. And I looked for whatever similarities I could see in them. And one thing that kind of stuck out at me was I noticed that, a lot of them uses those bright primary colors that we learned from school days, right? So red, blue, yellow, green is what I saw across a lot of different brands. So I definitely incorporated that into my brand as well. And the other thing I noticed that a lot of them had very clean fonts, right? Very nice, easy to read. It wasn't very much too complicated. And the more complicated ones are actually the ones that, my friends would do, or people that I would see if I'm trying to get a logo online done for me. And that really doesn't necessarily have to work. So you can really keep it very, very simple. So I would refer back to this, and you're just looking for logo ideas online. I would find one that I would find that looks pretty cool, that kind of brands to you. And then to get it started off, even on a shoestring budget, just go with something simple to get it branded. And I think just getting your main text out there is usually a very, very good way of getting started. All right. Now, the next thing is in terms of colors. You want to choose your colors, wisely. There's an emotional side to choosing the right colors. And I find this image really kind of ties it in. It talks about, what the different colors mean, right? So you want to think of your brand and what kind of messaging are you trying to communicate out there, and how should your brand be categorized based on your own personality and exactly what, your ideal customer would be able to connect with, right? Is it an optimistic brand? Right? Do you want to show clarity or warmth? Then you'd be a nice bright yellow, or orange, that's why I chose orange, because, I'm friendly, I'm cheerful. That these are things that all kind of, define who I am, right? I'm also very confident, right? If your brand wants to be bright And bold, you want to show youthfulness. They said red is a very emotional color for bright, right? The other one is, green, purple means creative, or imaginative. So if you're more of a creative style brand, or you want to show that creative side of you, you definitely want to do that. Blue, I definitely know that trust, it definitely impacts, resonates trust if you use the color blue in your colors and your branding. I know that for a fact. I've split tested it on different landing pages and different designs, and that is definitely one I could put my hat on. All right. And then the other one is peacefulness, which is green, earthy. So if you think eco, anything like that, green is great for that. And then if you're looking for balance, just, it's not a color, but it's actually a tone. You got that gray tone there, and you see some brands actually using that and using it very successful. All right. The next one is, fonts. So people sometimes, kind of overthink of where can I get good fonts that are, widely available and best of all free. Right. So I put this website URL on top. It's called fonts.google.com. And I think there are over 1,900 different fonts that you can choose from in there. And what I recommend doing is just going in here and writing your text or your company name in here, and then just browsing through the different fonts. Right now, you can do things pretty cool. You can put, one word in one font and the other word in another font. You can accent a particular letter in it and to change it out. And these are all little things that people do to make it kind of stand out. But if you play around with this, have just a bit of fun, you can find yourself coming up with something pretty awesome, even if you're on a shoestring budget. And it's also something that you'd be proud of. Coming up with a logo. These are some of the tools that I've used in the past, and for the most part, I think the Shopify one is great. It's if you really have no creative spark to you, they come up with some pretty solid ideas that you can just get started with. That works great. My favorite tool out there is Get Stencil, for finding, for being able to edit images. Now there is a free version of it, which is kind of cool. You can do up to 10 images that you can actually download, but you can design and save like unlimited. So if you're looking to try and play around with those fonts, and the other cool thing about it is Get Stencil allows you to import all of those Google fonts into it. So I definitely recommend, trying that out, playing around with the font, with creating your own logo for at least for a couple of minutes until you actually, find something that you like or something that resonates with you. Okay. Now the next thing is Trello. Trello is another tool that you can use for designing, getting some cool font ideas and creating some cool logos. They have great icons in there to help you out as well. Okay. Now, if you're not really getting anywhere with these and you want to try maybe a bit more of a done for you solution, some of the ones out there that I've used before is Fiverr. Fiverr works great. You can get what you pay for. It's $5. It's the whole thing about the site premise, but sometimes you could get lucky. So, if you're spending $20, it might be worthwhile trying it out to see what you get back. I've had some luck with it. Sometimes it's a complete wash. And the unfortunate thing is when you do it, there's not much you can do, but you can't really, I don't feel bad asking for a refund if it's something that it's only $20 I paid. But the other one is 99 Designs. These are much higher end designers and people that actually, put time and effort into it. And I've had much better result with these, but sometimes these logos can range, I think that the campaigns you start off about $200 US and up. So just keep in mind, it's going to be a much better quality product, but you're going to be paying a significant more than what you would be doing on Fiverr. All right. Now, the next thing you want to think about when you're talking about your branding and you identified who your ideal customer is and where they're located online, is you want to make sure that you have a solid social media presence and it's built for a business. So something you're actually going to grow as a speaker. So make sure that if you have a Facebook page, you're not just using Facebook page, but you actually have created a Facebook business profile. And by that, I mean going into creating a business.facebook.com and getting that set up, because as you can notice at the bottom there, the bottom image, you get access to a whole bunch of new tools to help you plan, create, measure, and even store some assets online with Facebook's manager tool for business. It's a really, really phenomenal tool and it really sets you up for success. And if it's like everybody else using a Toyota for a race and you come in there with a sports car. So making sure that you're actually up to the par, you've got the right tools to really set up above and beyond. All right. The next thing is Instagram. Instagram's owned by Facebook. Make sure you go through the Instagram tools. There's tons of great trainings, tons of great tools to help you be successful on their platform. So take advantage of that. There's also LinkedIn does have a business platform as well for their ads. And, you can simply just run an ad in within their page. But if you use the business manager, you'll see that your results will be significantly better. And we'll go into these in a little more detail in some of the further courses. Right. The next thing is having a YouTube channel created and making sure it's a brand channel. I do come across a lot of people that, they create a YouTube channel and they're using a personal YouTube channel for trying to do advertising, and it's just not working. And it's just, you got to make sure it's a brand. Right. And there are a couple of little things that I'll show you guys once we go through explaining that, what exactly it is that you need to look for to make sure that you have it set up properly. And then last but not least, having a blog. And that's where you communicate your messages out to people. You let them know what you're doing. And, you can use many different ways for your blog. You can use a text blog where you're typing out an actual blog, the traditional format. You can even do a video blog, right, where you can actually record videos, upload them to YouTube, and then paste them on your blog. So then you have a vlog or a video log that's available. And then last but not least, you can do a podcast where you do an audio recording and then you post it on a blog, the same as you would with a text or a video blog. All right. So make sure you identify, what kind of media you want to you most comfortable with, what kind of media your audience will most respond to, and then you make sure we're doing something. All right. We have here a online testimonial. So this is definitely one that people tend to miss, is doing online testimonials for yourself, right? So this is one I just pulled a couple of those up for my agency. And I'm telling you, these are really good trust signals in terms of getting people to know, like, and trust your brand. By having good reviews. Now, you can do reviews different ways. Some of the more preferable ones are using Google reviews, because these are very, very credible reviews. People tend to trust these a lot more. You can also do Facebook reviews, get people to give you some reviews online. You can get them to type them up to you if they're comfortable doing that. And even do, straight up doing video reviews, right? If you got people that are funny and they love doing great reviews, you can actually do a review for yourself. All right. And if you're like me, you can be silly. A couple of years ago, I wanted to see if these actually worked, and I actually did a review for myself. And it's actually just been stuck there for quite a few while. So I found it funny. I left it on there. And then, but not least, we have reputation management. So you want to make sure that you're protecting your brand name and you're protecting yourself, because, eventually sometimes some things happens, and, you may, do something that upsets somebody, and you may or may not be aware of it. So what you want to do is you want to set up proper reviewing to make sure that you keep an eye on what's happening in terms of your brand outside there. And how we do that is, number one, my favorite tool is freereviewmonitoring.com. It's a great tool. It's a free resources that will pretty much notify you anytime a review pops up about your brand. And then the other one is using a more common Google.com. Actually, it's a Google.ca as well, but Google.com alerts. And that simply just put in any text, and what will happen is they'll notify you anytime that text gets mentioned online. All right. So to give you guys a quick recap is, number one, make sure that we define your message and decide on your clear audience, your dream audience. We also want to make sure that our brand colors and fonts are selected and they mean something to us and to the message we're trying to convey. You want to make sure you have a logo. You want to have a web presence online. You want to have a social media presence. You want to get some online testimonials, with your people. You want to do some reputation management. So keeping an eye on a pulse with return to your reputation. You want to create your personal branded calling card for yourself. And then last but not least, you want to refine and test and repeat as you keep going through, because your brand can evolve over time. We've seen it happen with many, many brands and many big brands, including brands like Google. And it's really important because they keep refining, testing, and repeating that process. All right. So hopefully this was helpful. If you do have any questions about any of this stuff that I mentioned, feel free to mention in the comments below, or definitely get in touch with me inside the Speakers Pathway. And I'd love to have a more in-depth conversation if you have any questions about this stuff. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.